Cinderella.
Midnight. Sew. Slipper. Fairy. Wand. Gown. Pumpkin. Carriage.
Once upon a time, there was a young girl named Cinderella. She lived in a big, beautiful house with her father. Her father was very lonely since Cinderella's mother died. One day he married another woman with two daughters. Cinderella's new stepmother was very nice to her at first. Her stepsisters played with her and treated her like a sister. When Cinderella's father died, everything changed. Her stepmother told her, "Now you must clean and take care of my daughters." So Cinderella worked very hard every day. She did not have nice clothes. She had to sleep in a small room at the top of the house. One day the stepmother and stepsisters got an invitation to the castle. There was going to be a ball where everyone would dance. They would get to meet the prince. "Cinderella, help me make a beautiful gown," said her stepsister Winnie. "Cinderella, comb my hair and clean my shoes," said her stepsister Ginny. Winnie and Ginny looked in the mirror. "I am so beautiful. The prince will dance with me all night," said Winnie. "I'm more beautiful than you," said Ginny. "I will marry the prince." Cinderella said, "I would like to go to the ball." "What?" said Winnie and Ginny. Then they laughed and laughed. Cinderella's stepmother said, "If you can finish your work and make a beautiful gown, you can go to the ball with us." So Cinderella got to work. She cleaned faster than she had ever worked before. She dreamed of going to the ball her whole life. You might think that Cinderella was lonely, but she was not. She found some friends in the mice that lived in the house. They were very clever and helped her clean when she had too much work to do. The mice could also sew. While she was cleaning, they made her a beautiful gown. Cinderella put on the gown and said, "I'm ready." Her stepmother said, "You cannot go to the ball." Cinderella said, "But the house is perfectly clean. My gown is new and my hair is beautiful." Cinderella's stepmother threw garbage at her and made her gown and hair dirty. "Your gown is not a good color. Your hair is not nice. You must stay here," said her stepmother. Then her stepsisters laughed. They all got into a carriage and went to the ball without Cinderella. Cinderella sat on the floor and began to cry. While Cinderella was crying, she suddenly saw bits of light fill the room. She looked up to see a pretty woman with a wand. "Who are you?" she asked. "I'm your fairy godmother. Your mother asked me to watch over you." "Why are you here?" "I want you to go to the ball. It looks like you need a new gown and shoes. What's your favorite color?" Cinderella smiled. "My favorite color is blue. But how will I get to the ball?" "Don't worry, dear. I will also change this pumpkin into a carriage." Then she waved her wand. Suddenly, Cinderella was wearing a blue dress and glass slippers. A carriage was outside. Before Cinderella got into the carriage, the fairy godmother said, "You must leave the ball before midnight. The magic will end then." "Okay, thank you," said Cinderella. She got into the carriage. The horse knew the way to the castle. When the carriage reached the castle, Cinderella walked up the long stairs to the door. She looked so beautiful, people stopped to look at her. Her stepmother and stepsisters asked, "Who is that girl?" There was lovely music playing. When the music stopped, the prince looked up and saw Cinderella. He walked over to her. "Excuse me? Would you like to dance with me?" "I would love to." The prince and Cinderella danced the next dance, and the next one, and the next one. Suddenly the clock began to sound. Dong, dong, dong. "Oh no, it's almost midnight," said Cinderella, and she ran out of the castle. "Wait," said the prince. "What is your name? Where do you live?" But Cinderella did not answer him. She ran so fast down the stairs she lost one of her slippers. The prince picked up the slipper. He said, "I will find you. You are my dream girl." When the clock finished sounding, Cinderella's clothes changed back to her dirty clothes. The carriage turned back into a pumpkin. She told her mouse friend, "What a wonderful night! The prince was so handsome and kind." The next day Cinderella was cleaning the house. Her stepsisters were talking to her about the ball. "The prince danced with me so many times," said Winnie. "No, he danced with me all night. He never looked at you," said Ginny. Cinderella smiled and sang as she worked. There was a knock at the door. The stepmother said, "Welcome, Prince." The prince came inside. "I want every girl to try on this slipper." "That slipper?" "It belongs to one of my beautiful daughters," said Cinderella's stepmother. First Winnie tried on the slipper. Her foot was too long. Then Ginny tried it on. Her foot was too fat. "Is there another girl in the house?" asked the prince. "Just Cinderella," they said. "She must try on the slipper too." So Cinderella tried on the slipper. It was a perfect fit. The prince was so happy. "You are the girl from the ball. Will you marry me?" he asked Cinderella. "Yes, I will," said Cinderella. Soon she and the prince were married. They lived happily ever after. The end.